Upcoming meeting of the Recreation Committee on November 13th at, I don't know what time it is. 6:43. Members present. We'll start down the left with Daniel.
Daniel Jones.
Mary Anastasia.
Michael Crouch.
David Brohl.
Mark Sands.
Excellent. Did everyone get a chance to look over the minutes from our last?
Minutes. I added the dollar amount for the basketball, 4 basketballs, hand pump, needles, and baskets, or bin, and put them in. There was a question about the conversation. I had in my notes that we spoke about permanent shade issues. When I went back to the archived recordings, they cut us off before we got to that point.
Oh, okay.
So
I just didn't remember it.
I vaguely remember because John was talking about a pergola, and I was talking about a sail type of cloth thing. But we just had a conversation.
Yeah, I
and
think we
that's it.
just, I think we tabled it.
Yeah, and to be discussed later, but just got it on the record. So I make the motion, we accept the amended minutes as I added to. Thank you, Mary, for correcting those.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, approved. Correspondence.
So as of Sunday, there was no, I'm expecting the mellow bill. It's probably in this week
Okay.
with the holiday, but I didn't check email that in today.
Okay.
So,
And does that cover bills and claims too?
yes.
Okay.
Unless you have correspondence in my record.
I have some correspondence in my rec for requests.
Okay.
That will come under applications and stuff.
Cool. I also have a correspondence with Jennifer from the lacrosse group.
That'll be under applications,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
because that's the big thing.
Yeah, it's about finances.
Okay. Okay.
So,
Yeah.
cool.
All right.
And do we want to bring up Cindy made mention that a resident was looking to, how can I put it? We got a letter from Cindy asking about pickleball outside of our jurisdiction. And the question is, it's out of our jurisdiction. It's not, it's like somebody asking, can we use a pickleball court in Boxford? It's like, it's out of our jurisdiction.
Yeah.
We're responsible.
So essentially, it was a resident that was working with governors to have hours at one of their things to do indoor pickleball, so they can continue it through the season. But I think there was a financial bit behind it. We don't really know because we really have to talk to them. We invited them tonight to the meeting. Did not come, but we can't. I mean, our jurisdiction right now is, like Mark said, it's Center Street Fields, and then that section of grass and woods that's right over there, which nothing's going on. So, if she wants to come and talk to us again, we can, go over with things and, maybe send her in a different direction, either to select board or to, but council on aging is too busy right now to deal with it. They don't want to get involved with it, so.
And they're not here, so.
Yeah, no, Cindy would say that
Yeah.
she's got her hands full for the winter,
Yeah.
so,
So we're good?
Yeah, just want to put it
Yeah.
out there. Okay.
Yeah.
Bills and claims are good.
okay. Applications for fields, court, field house, and other.
We have one from Jennifer Lucier from lacrosse
Yep.
for this weekend. Since we unfortunately haven't met, we haven't been able to talk about these or get them approved. It is for this weekend for 2 fields, field 1 and field 2, 9:30 to 11:30 for 2 hours each.
Are they available?
Yes.
Documentation has been submitted for,
They're the lacrosse team, so which is part of, they have training and games on their stuff as well. Oh, that's not done. I'm not seeing, documentation, but
I think if it's open and the fields are not in bad shape, which I don't believe they are, I don't know about anyone else, but I don't see a problem with approving it with, if they get the documentation in, right?
I concur, and payment.
Yep.
But my real question is 1 and 2 is closest to the parking lots. I've been seeing somebody, I don't know if it's on Saturday you said?
Saturday.
Saturday. I don't know, when Triton Youth Soccer is using.
It is not on our calendar for Triton Youth Soccer on Saturday.
So if they're using them, they're using them outside.
Okay, I don't
We-
remember which day.
Triton Youth Soccer used to, their time ended on the 2nd.
Okay.
So as of last weekend, last Saturday, they did not have anything. So it is currently open.
Okay. I have no objection, just for,
Is there like, my first time managing aspects of this, is there like a fee that is involved here? Like how do we manage that? Is it a set fee or like, how do we manage
it's,
that?
traditionally, and I don't speak for everybody, traditionally, it's the number of hours times the rate.
Yeah.
So it's a trivial amount of money, I'm not gonna lose sleep over it. But more importantly, it's important particularly for soccer and lacrosse because their seasons, the insurance binders that they get from their governing bodies, for example, soccer is Mass Youth Soccer writes the insurance that they use.
Mm-hmm.
That's usually done September 1 to August 31. So we need to look at when their insurance binder comes in and when they're using it. Because at one point it's like, oh, we submitted it in the fall. And I think it was lacrosse. And it expired and there'd be they need to issue a new one.
Mm-hmm.
And what
Who can I check with on that? To see that it's submitted?
it would be the assistant, it used to be the assistant collector downstairs.
And that person would also be the person to make sure that they've paid up?
Yep.
They should be, and
When
that's,
they pay, we sign, if that makes sense.
Okay, because my rec is saying that they've got debt that hasn't been paid, which is fine, because I'm sure the assistant
much?
collector is not saying,
I don't think so, that's that part that we chit-chatted about, like trying to close
It's
that
not closing
circle. Yeah.
yeah, so I'll reach out to the assistant collector and find out if they've paid up, and then I'll just
how much is the debt?
remove the debt.
Were they saying?
I think they paid and-
9,280?
$6,840.
All right, we'll figure that out. That's on our end without, we had this conversation 3 meetings ago
Yeah.
about something doesn't get in, we don't hear about it. So that's something we need to figure out, and that's done,
But they.
Yeah, I figured, but like, I gotta figure out how to do it.
Yeah,
Someone
well, it's just,
paid.
there's a breakdown.
Lacrosse paid, how much was it?
6,840.
Yeah, 9280 was what they
What day was
paid.
that?
9280 is what we have back in,
They paid that.
Okay,
on
there's-
713.
She is saying that they paid the 6,840 on. It was later than that date.
Okay, I don't have that yet.
On.
we will track it down.
Yeah, exactly. On 8/30/24. So August.
But I'll check the other form. I don't think I printed that one
I'll
out.
check with the assistant collector too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think we got that, ledger sheet from Ann, the accountant. I flipped
Yeah.
that to everyone if you
I
look on
didn't
that.
see it. I didn't see it on there either.
Oh, okay, because it should have been on there if it was received.
Yeah, I have the, this is for 24, and
I
this
might
is
have
through.
been
Yeah, I have July is my last printed copy.
Yeah, I have one through September 30th.
Oh, did you see
6,810.
6840?
No, $6,810
As a payment from who?
from, it doesn't say whom, it just says the,
Can you-
I remember them paying, or was that from, a late one from soccer? I don't know.
I mean, that's pretty close. That's $30 off.
Yeah,
$30.
it
So,
sounds like it's that one.
I don't know, maybe if we can talk to get a description for our benefit,
mhm.
that'd be great.
All right, so I make a motion to approve lacrosse for this coming weekend. For fields 1 and 2 for the hours they want, as long as they have their paperwork and money and.
Is it just the binder and the payment?
It should, technically should be their Corey for
Okay.
coaches. I will write to Jen tonight and CC Jason at lacrosse so they can get their goals moved.
Is that Jen from lacrosse?
Yeah,
Can
Jen.
you CC me on that too?
Yeah, of course.
Perfect, thank you.
And then, and John, geez, I can't think anymore. I know who I'm sending them to.
Okay.
Do I have a second on the approval?
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, done.
We got one more request for youth soccer, starting in January, April, and ending in June. It is many days, many, many,
Can I interject
Fields.
before you go too far?
yeah.
Spring use doesn't open up until December 1st and closes January 15th, so we couldn't take any action on it anyways.
Until next year.
And, but,
Till
yeah,
December.
and that way, and the whole idea is, they have a period of time to get their stuff in, we collect it all, be able to prioritize by our matrix, and then vote on that package for the spring.
Okay,
So we have it in a record, even technically it's not open, but, you know, if,
So we can't prove it yet.
we can't do anything until we've given everybody a fair
Is-
chance to get it in.
Is it TYS or is it the Rush?
it's Rush.
Okay. Okay. All right. Does that cover application for fields, court, field houses, or other?
That is everything. Oh wait, there's the
COA.
COA stuff for yoga, tai chi, stretch, and ping pong.
For the house, right?
But in all reality, things that are sponsored by us, in a way, should not go through this request process. They should be documented as a program that is offered by the rec group, which is not a request. It is just entering.
A
it.
demand.
Yeah.
So like, we enter it as a program that is available, and one of the things that pickleball does is they've got a team app that like you say you're coming. My rec supports that. So like, I've put them, what I've done is I've taken those requests,
Yep.
I've put them in as programs.
Okay.
They are blocking the calendar now, and I'm still trying to figure out exactly how this works. They should show up under the app on the website as a program,
Cool.
so that they can see that we are hosting these things and they can actually sign up for them at zero cost.
Okay.
So
So that's an enhancement that MyRec has that we
yes,
really didn't.
that
tap
we
into
never took
prior.
advantage of.
So that's good.
And things that we might want to do in the future would be like, okay, movie night, like being able to post those things that we're sponsoring on there.
So, do we still have to vote on the use of fields, or is that just, I don't think it's a problem.
For Council on Aging?
The Council on Aging. Did we, I think we approved them, right?
We've approved them in the past. I think we just continue to approve them, but they come into you as a program, they get listed as a program. We just acknowledge that we received it,
Mhm.
we agree with it, we approve it, and we move forward.
Yep.
So I make a motion, we approve the programming scheduled by Town of Newbury, Council of Aging, or going forward, any of the entities, town agencies,
As long as there's no conflict.
as long as there's a conflict.
Second on that?
Second.
All right.
Can I add something to that?
Yeah, discussion, go ahead.
It's not to the COA one, but sort of related to what we were just talking. Much like we do with the finances, giving Mary the responsibility with our previous acknowledgement of just approving it, so we used to have everybody sign it. Something to consider, I'm not looking for a vote tonight, but to consider, if there's no conflict with some of these things like Triton Youth Lacrosse, that there's no conflict and we know what their expectations are in terms of paperwork, we can just have you approve it, so people don't have to wait for me to screw up and have 3 weeks, 4 or 5 weeks, where I've made a mistake and they're getting burned for it. That there's no conflict, there's no, paperwork is in, or you've asked them to submit it. I think it would be good to expedite
The approval process.
the approval process for our users. So next meeting, can we talk about that, or, think about it, look at
Yeah.
other places?
Yep.
If you want that responsibility.
That's
Put-
easy enough. I check this like once a week at
Okay.
most, and like that's easy enough. One thing I will need from you that I don't know at this point, just like soccer right now, where I was like, yeah, this is it's open in April, like, and you guys like can't even talk about it until December.
That will come with
I need
us.
that information.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, when can I talk about it?
Yep.
Or when can I start approving things?
Yep.
And I forget which one of the handouts, but one of the docs that are online, it kind of tells you when things open and when
Things, yeah.
there is a schedule.
Because we're so organized online. And so
No,
it's so
but
easy to
there's-
find.
there's-
But the
There's a field
document-
policy.
The document I sent you today, for you to look at, will have that. And that is something, again, to revise if we feel necessary. The whole idea behind the schedule is to give them ample time to set it up so they can plan accordingly
Mhm.
and give us some flexibility of when we approve it. So take a hard look at it, and it'll be there.
Is the rate that we charge for the fields on there?
That's gonna be a conversation we're coming down.
All right.
Um,
Oh yeah, we talked about that.
Yep. All right, so that covers applications,
Mhm.
correct? Did we vote, we agreed on the COA. Updates on old business, master plan update. Looks like that would be me. They're gonna be digging, breaking ground, I believe on Monday for the tar lot.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah, this
Nice.
coming Monday. Now, Chris will be there on Monday, Chris Huntress will be there Monday morning to, just go over the dimensions and where it's gonna be. I sent a email to DPW to let them know that they are planning on coming sometime next week. And Chris reached out to me and Tracy about the fact that the contractor wants to start. I gave them the number for the back gate so they can get in there if they have to go around. So, it's gonna happen,
Yippee.
yeah, or at least it'll be a hole around.
Can we let Cindy and her programs know that there might be some disruptions and parking issues?
Okay. I don't know where they park, they're,
Well, the parking's gonna change, and this is part of master plan update. They did install, I don't know if people saw it, but they did install 2 electric vehicle charging stations at the field house.
no way.
Yeah,
I didn't
charge
know that.
point, yeah. Right where the dumpster,
Yeah.
in the middle,
Yeah.
dumpster's been moved closer to the field.
Is that something we approved, or is that something that came about by
Yeah.
a grant or something?
They got a grant a while back to do that. I don't know if the library got it as well, but originally it was for the library. I had conversations with different people in the past about how long people stay at the library versus at the field house. Like if you're a parent watching a game,
Yep.
you'd be there for an hour, and that will give you a charge point, 12 kilowatts, or about 25 miles. If it's a library, unless you're there for a kids program, you tend to go in and out, in and out. So it's a good location for a town-sponsored one. I don't know.
Is there a charge for that?
I don't know what the charge is here. Like the Y has a charge point, the Y, it's free. Town of Ipswich charges a certain amount per kilowatt.
Okay, all right.
I'll look more into what they've done. and-
I have not seen it, so I don't know anything about it whatsoever. I went to the field the other day,
Yeah.
and, yeah, I'll bring that up later.
And what we may want to do is help the town devise policies around it. Some places, I don't know if anybody have electric vehicles or uses them, but some will say if you're here for more than arbitrarily 2 hours, you're going to get charged an extra fee. So that, these are meant to be quick refills for an hour at most.
Like a
And
top
not,
off of the coffee.
hey, I'm going to park here, walk to Triton, spend the day at Triton,
Yeah.
come back and,
Yeah.
and get it.
All right. So that's the story with the master plan update. That's all I'm gonna give you.
That's great.
The deal is, and I think I might have said it to everyone, but I haven't, the actual install will take place April 1st and supposed to be done by May 1st. So
Nice.
just put that in your calendar, Dave Bull stepping down, May 1st.
No.
I know who's taking over.
He's not saying what year.
Yeah.
We're putting in the year.
2020-30.
Mary, I think-
2020-30.
Yeah.
2020-30.
Mary, you
2020-30.
maybe you should take over.
2020-30.
All right, pickleball, ping pong update. That's not,
That's a John.
that's a John thing. I think that's, let me hang on one
Ping pong's
second.
on Thursdays.
Yeah, I got a question.
That was part of the rec
Okay.
request.
Okay, I have we bought, and just because we're on the field house in that area, in the master plan, the pickleball, ping pong, we bought a box to store stuff. I went by the other day, the box was on its side, and pickleball stuff was kind of screwed, and there's one basketball that was on the court. Does anyone know if those other basketball courts got confiscated and someone brought them somewhere or kicked them out of the field? Or there's one basketball on the court, and it didn't say Town Newbury, but I assume that's the one we bought. Is that?
How many did we buy?
I think we bought either
Four.
Four.
I think
We
there's four.
requisition monies for 4, 2 men, 2 women.
Yeah. So I'll call Cindy tomorrow, again, and ask her if she knows anything about that. I didn't know if you guys knew anything
Do
about
we
it.
know if the box was not, like, how far was it knocked over, like?
It was just dumped over, like the kids might have been jumping on it or something like that. Like the other one seems to be attached to something solid with a lock on it.
Yeah.
This is just kind of,
Could it have been wind? We've had a lot.
Could
And that is a really windy spot.
could be.
Okay.
No idea. At that point, it wasn't windy. It looked like someone just did, spilled the stuff, but, who knows? The reason
Is that racket stuff still there?
there was stuff in the bottom. I didn't know what materials it was that was supposed to be in there. I just put it back up and left the ball there on the court, so. Yeah, or maybe I put the ball in the container and I closed it, so.
How many shots did you take?
I did not. I still have not. It's funny because we did a lot of work on that, and I still have not played basketball down there. So yes. Water bubbler update.
Do you know if the court was pulled? I know John had mentioned that the DPW was supposed to.
I
pull
know nothing about that.
Or something.
I should have looked, but I think I did it.
We can talk more about that at
I did it at
DPW
night.
maintenance
Yeah,
schedule.
I did it at night, and
You didn't go.
yeah, no, I had my little flashlight out, and the police officers weren't.
I think John's gonna be the one. who's
So
gonna
was
go
that
talk.
you?
I know, I was like, I can't
That's-
tell. All that I know is that John
Way out
talks
there.
about this often, so I figured.
Did you see
I
a
would
copy
be
of it on the
remiss
field?
if I
I've
didn't
seen,
bring a
I've
copy.
seen, I've seen the issue, I've never
Because
been
he
able to
talks about
diagnose it.
And I
Right?
think
He's-
it's
but he
covered
seems to
out,
know
yeah,
things
in
that
my
should-
car, and it's like, what the hell?
That's what I think.
I'm not getting back there, I'm not gonna look.
Okay, well, I've done my part of cleaning John for the evening, so.
So water bubbler update, we approved the money for, again, I haven't heard a thing about it yet, so, I will ask again. I think they're tired of me asking, but I'll ask
Yeah,
again.
that's okay.
Book exchange, a little library, any update on that?
Yeah, we went before the select board,
Oh, that's right.
they approved it. They love the idea. I've identified with a family volunteer to help build it, looking for probably like in April 1st. Well, the COA would be using, and they'll be programming at the field house over the winter. It might be nice just to take the winter, build it, and then part of this, oh, here's new stuff at the, put it in then, and
Build some excitement around it.
yeah.
I
And, well,
kind of recall you, or you saying that you wanted me to contact the Triton Community Service Club.
If you had the time and
I
ability.
have the, I can get in touch with them. I'm just curious what we would like to have them do and have them be a part of this if they.
Well, just, you know, make sure it's not broken, report, sort of taking it, the conversation that we had with the select board was having more people engaged in stewardship of town property.
So just kind of making sure that they can like periodically check up on it.
It's
make
on
sure
that,
that
the
we're
window's
trying to-
cracked, oh, I'm gonna let Daniel know, you know, say, oh, all right, we can fix it.
Okay.
We will have other people there, so it's not a lot of heavy lifting.
Yeah.
But just, here's something, can we just have somebody up there? Because usually there's older kids up there anyways from the soccer teams
Yeah.
helping out or whatever, so it's fine.
Alright.
There's no books, the big books are being strewn about.
Yeah.
what's the name of that group again? I'm so sorry.
The Triton Community Service Club.
Would it be helpful if they did like maybe a book drive or something?
Maybe.
Or just to see if they're,
Limited,
brothers
it's
and
only
sisters.
this, but, yeah, the idea is.
Well, yeah,
in-
but even
Whatever they
There's
want
other
to do,
books,
I love
you know
it.
what I mean? But at least that way they could get involved and it would foster the
Perfect.
expenditure through the community.
Yeah,
And that
even
would
if
be an
it's-
easy-ish thing for
Yeah.
them to do.
Yeah, even if it's just like them, like getting people to realize that, hey, this is something that exists.
It's something that exists, you have an extra
Yeah.
book. put in.
Yeah.
They can, yeah, the idea is, ultimately, we're responsible, but I love that idea, Mary.
And then
Bringing
it's the
others.
community too, right? So,
And it doesn't, and again, it's gonna be relatively small, so even if they did books within, different age books from that group, you know, from their family or whatever, that would be fantastic.
Yeah. All right. Cool. That's all I'm curious.
Cool to you, and Mary.
Yeah, I'm just curious. That's all I'm.
good.
Worried about.
All right.
The ubiquitous annual monthly spending plan.
Yep.
I thought John was gonna be here, because I don't know, people saw his email about spending and whatnot. And, because it will tie in later to the review of the fees. Because all this money stuff needs to be related. And the idea, you know, and I don't want to jump the gun here, but the idea is, depending on how much money we spend and utilize on the field, is a relationship to how much money we can really be asking for. In other words, if we're only spending, fiscal policies dictate that if we're only spending $10 on taking care of the field, we really shouldn't be asking for $1,500 in fees. Because we're a municipality, we're not here to necessarily be a money generating. Monies that we get should be going back into the services.
Yeah,
And
but
we're,
if there's never been an increase, when was the last increase?
it's
We
not a
did-
matter of increase, we
No, well, that's my question.
Yeah,
I know it's
yeah.
not a matter of it, I'm just
No,
asking in
no,
general.
yeah.
When was the last time there was
So-
a fee increase?
So, years ago, 7 years ago, 6 years, 5 years ago, we had a fee schedule as per person, per head. So the group was supposed to tell us how many people, and that's what we did. We changed that fee policy to an hourly rate.
Right.
And so,
So the total structure changed?
yeah, completely total structure change. And what it did was basically,
When was that change? I don't remember.
whenever this was adopted.
yeah, that was a while ago.
I think
Had to
it's
be
since-
4 years ago, I'm guessing?
Yeah, because I've been here 3, so it was
Yeah,
before.
yeah, maybe
So 4
5 years ago.
So even over the course of 4
but-
years,
But we
gas
did,
prices, everything
yeah, we
goes up,
did
just
boost
saying.
up the price.
Yeah.
At one point, we went up $5 or something like that. I don't know what we did. We did a increase. And, yeah. I mean, I don't, before I went through, and I did a lot of research and I called places and find out what they're getting per hour. I'm not against, moving the price up. I guess that's something that we should talk about.
And that's down here, so spending plans related to it, the idea is, look at how much money we're currently spending, and last year we spent, not even 50% of what we've been appropriated. The thing is, a number of things weren't accounted for that we paid for in the past, including the fire suppression alert system, Burkett. It wasn't much money. I didn't see anything for Omni Security. Now, the town may have a deal with these providers where it's a blanket, you cover all our buildings for this price, and they can't really break it out, so there might be a rational reason.
Is the DPW maintenance on there too?
Yes, we have, yes, a fall and spring allotment. The other thing that wasn't in there.
And how much is that?
That's the majority of it. The fall was 7,761, and the spring is 5,447. And another one that's not on there that we had in years past was the irrigation.
Yeah.
And that was a $5,000 contract we had with, I can't think of the person's name, and that was a blanket.
So over the course of a couple of years that I have these kind of printed, I did some of those comparisons. And we have not been consistently, if you will, charged for
Right.
services at the town.
Yep.
So we have our expenditures, right?
Yep.
So the warrants that we approve and we send in, and our budget is 50 grand per year,
Right.
right? And we use less than half of it.
Yep.
But what we take in, the payments go into a different account. They don't
Right.
go into this account.
Right.
So the payments from the
Any
recreation doesn't
revenue
actually.
generated.
Yeah, the revenue we generate doesn't actually,
Nope.
it may feed this account in some ways, but it doesn't actually hit this. This is, we're funded differently. So the
We
money goes
appropriate
where
our funds, whatever we bring in goes over there to the revolving account.
Correct.
Which we can get access to by, my understanding is a meeting at the, a
Right,
town
right,
meeting.
right. But it doesn't actually, all that I'm saying is that
Right, so
it's
it's
not
not-
an exact business.
Yeah.
So whatever we charge doesn't exactly equate to our spending budget,
Yep.
if that makes sense.
Yep.
I understand what you're saying, I'm not
Yeah.
disagreeing with it. What I'm trying to move forward is there's a relationship between what we pay to provide a service and what we can charge for the service. Part of it is standard practice in municipal government. You can't charge people, if you have trash service, part of your taxes, you can't charge people an exorbitant amount because they're locked in there. You charge for what the service is worth.
Yeah,
Correct.
and so
Yeah,
what
so
the
if
service
we're-
is worth.
All that I'm saying is that
They're
what
two
that
separate
service is
entities.
worth isn't necessarily what it's what we pay out.
But
isn't
that gives us
exactly-
that should be giving us the concept of how much money we should be generating. If we don't even have to do that, we can say, we don't even charge anything for our services. We don't have to, because we get an appropriation from the town to take care of the fields which we utilize. That's one issue.
Right.
We decide to charge money for use of the fields. Common and best practices for municipals, again, we're not a private enterprise, we're a municipality, is you tend to look at what the services cost, and you can include staffing if you want. If we hired somebody, in theory, to help manage what we're doing, those costs could come under, and we shouldn't be charging more than what it costs to run our services.
Well, on the other hand, which we did before, and what the reason we did the fee schedule, the way we did it was, we had all these users that basically came in the beginning of the year and then took the entire field for the whole entire time. And so no one else could use it.
Mhm.
And then they didn't use it. So they didn't use it, but they said, hey, we want to allot that time. So basically, we had 3 different users or 4 different users, whatever, that were during the 2 seasons, were basically taking it from the beginning of the day to the end of the day and blocking anyone else from using it.
Correct.
So we set up a fee schedule to say, hey, you know, maybe you don't need to use all this time. Use,
Right.
you know, look, say, okay, well, we normally have games on this time, and you
It's
know,
sort of like lacrosse, right?
Yeah.
Lacrosse is able to get in because soccer ended.
Yeah.
Perhaps in the prior time, soccer was booked for,
well, they did.
till December. I don't know
Yeah, they
what
just,
that was.
so you go on a Sunday afternoon and the fields
Yeah.
are empty, but someone has permitted it for that they've locked that
Had
in.
host-
So we had 3 groups or 4 groups that basically ran the field, and so the fee schedule, which I was kind of for, was saying, hey, guys, you know, do you really need all this time?
Correct.
And if you don't, there should be time for public usage of that field.
Yeah, and someone else.
Someone else to be able to
Yeah.
use that. And, you know, lacrosse was complaining about, they didn't, you know, they're always concerned about money. And so we talked about time, and I think their comment was, well, we want to guarantee the field so no one else can use it, and so it stays in whatever shape during the time that.
Maybe.
You can't have it both ways. You can't ask for cheap prices and block off the field.
Yeah.
If you want to have what, and the term is used as non-exclusive use of that property, then you need to pay accordingly.
Yeah.
Our fees are, when we looked at this, comparable to other communities, considering different parameters, but it's not that expensive. And what, as David was saying, if you want to do it on a Saturday from 7 to 7 and pay for 12 hours, that's your choice, but don't complain to us. So then they say, well, wait a second, maybe we only take it from 10 to 4, because that's when the games are. We're going to save ourselves
X.
6 hours. So they started being a little bit more, use a little bit more discretion in their requests.
Yeah, absolutely, as they
Yeah.
should. Yeah.
So, I don't know if this is, I don't know where we're at on
Well,
the
we're
schedule.
sort of jumping
Okay.
spending plan down to the review. And just one more thing, according to, again, best policies, ask that we review on a regular basis. And arbitrarily, I said 3 years. And that way, if we decide to go over the prices, it doesn't give the appearance of retaliatory against any department. You know, if somebody gives us a hard time and all of a sudden you say, oh, we're gonna jack your prices up. We've
No, I
already
think
planned this
every 3 years
year.
is smart.
Yeah.
It's like, and that's why I brought it up. I was like,
Yeah.
I think we're at that time now.
We are.
Okay.
And maybe slightly past, but that's okay, that's
Yeah,
okay. We're
and
not.
so then the question is, we have to do some research and find out what the going rate is, and, you know, we don't wanna overcharge people, but we also don't want to.
Undercharge either.
Well, and again, part of,
Am I wrong in saying I think we're very, very
We're good
generous to our custodians, the people who use it. They're very good to the fields, they're very good to us, but I also think that, you know, everything has gone up in the last few years, everything. So,
yeah, I think we need to take a hard look at it. The challenge is when you look at it, it's more than just simple numbers. Because it becomes complicated of how some towns do it, for example, Hamilton-Wenham, if it's a Hamilton-Wenham program with 100% Hamilton-Wenham participants, I think it's free. If it's 60%, 40%, and it all changes with the youth stuff, the adults have another program. Salisbury used to say free, but you had to do some service, help rake out the fields or whatever is needed.
yeah, but I don't think we have that.
No, we don't, but I'm saying, it's hard to say what a number is if you're not looking at the whole picture. Also, many of these, Hamilton Wenham, for example, have a number of paid staff. So some of their salaries are coming out of, again, this is where I go back to our, when you look at what it costs to run their program, if they are employing people to run the program, not maintenance, to run the program, those fees can be extracted out of that. Those salaries can be extracted out of those fees. Since we don't hire anybody out of our budget to take care of our stuff, we don't have that. So the numbers aren't necessarily equal.
Correct, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Okay.
And typically, we should, professionally, being respectful, give them ample time, because right now Lacrosse, for example, is doing registration, have already set their fees for the spring.
Right.
So the other part is that you have lacrosse, we have Triton Youth, and we have Rush. Those are our three major users. They have the ability to go to Raleigh, Rush can go anywhere and rent fields. So we're lucky that we have these three groups that use our fields, but they're shopping for price. And they're shopping for a decent field. So we have a decent field and they're shopping for price. So I think that, we have to balance those two things.
Absolutely,
So,
absolutely.
all right,
And give enough notice.
Yeah.
So by the time our discussion, we might be looking in
26, for spring of 2026, yeah.
right. So, but if we don't start the discussion, because you have to give enough notice. You
Yeah.
can't just say, hey, we're going up X. And
Right.
I'm just gonna use percentage, 2%, just for like a number, just for our conversation, $2 or whatever. We're going up $2, and that's it. we're not really, but we have to have that notice so that they know, so
Yep,
that they
exactly.
can, give them ample time to react as well.
Yep.
So,
So is that, you're gonna do that?
well, so what do we have to do with that? Do we have to look around? Do we do?
yeah, I think that's what I did originally. I just did a lot of research.
Go down and get copies of whatever documents they have online.
When you say the they, I need
Other
more
recreation
specific.
departments.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm a little, I need it spelled out for me, I'm a little slow. 7 o'clock at night.
Recreation departments in other towns, it's online, it's publicly available.
Yeah, everything's public.
That way, if you get an electronic copy from them, you can disperse it to everybody, and you can work from the same documents versus, Gene over at West Newbury told me this. And it's like,
Yeah,
but
it's-
Lacrosse isn't paying that.
But I don't have to go everywhere, I just have to go general, like our neighbors, our butters.
Our
yeah,
brothers and different like-kind communities around.
Yeah, it's funny because you go over to Boxford. Boxford is run by, I think it's Boxford, is
Yeah.
run by a professional group. So the town said, you guys run this, and I guess they get money from it, but we don't have anything to do with it. You guys are in control of
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So there's different models.
Yeah, it's Boxford Athletic Association, it's a nonprofit. Georgetown has a similar model. Newbury actually was going in that direction when we purchased the property, but many people in town at the time said, we don't want to turn over our 2 properties over to a nonprofit who we have no ability to control what's going on.
Yeah, which makes sense.
Um,
No, I like
and,
this.
yeah.
So, all right, cool beans.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll
So
find.
that'll be my homework.
Yeah, people like to get
Oh, you can
info.
help me.
I shared it with you.
Oh, good. Oh,
And so I
did you
created
get
it.
me, I'll just make sure you have my email.
Yeah, you're on there.
That takes care of it too.
Which one? Anastasia, okay, good. I need to-
Yeah. And here's just a spreadsheet. to
Oh,
keep
yeah,
notes on.
yeah. You know how John had that spreadsheet, we'll talk about this afterwards. Because I can do, I have it in that, so,
Yeah.
and then I just handwrite it, and I can do that, and we'll do the same thing.
Mhm.
Okay, cool.
All right.
You all have access to this sheet too, I think. It's the same one that we've got that you added the properties that are potential, you added the Plum Island stuff and like that.
The one that you started, yes.
So I'll use that document and update it with what I find.
Yeah, just research. And if you need
Does
help,
that
we
make
can.
sense?
Not really, because I was looking at property use.
So he added a new tab.
Add a new tab so that it's a shared document.
Oh, it's on your tab?
Yeah.
That sounds great to me.
So it's a shared
Different
Google
kind.
Doc.
Okay.
We added a separate tab on which I will update.
Gotcha.
I might even print it because
There you
I
go.
like stuff.
Yep.
You might not, but I think we like to touch.
The only reason I
reports
put
and
it in here is this is a community area
Yeah,
that
yeah.
we can all add stuff to instead of just putting the
Yeah.
burden on you.
stuff. Yeah, no, I appreciate that, and then I'll do that. Okay, cool. So that's what I was like chunking, but I think we were on the same page. I just wanted to loop everyone into what we were.
And yeah, if you get, yeah, so we, part of it is, again, not just the numbers, but looking at
Correct.
programs
Yeah,
and.
and then I can embed links and you can click on that, but I'll try to print enough so that if you want physical stuff, I like physical stuff, it'll be there, but it will also be organized electronically so that we can reference it through our discussion, and if we have to involve Tracy or
Whomever. we can
whoever
get-
else, it'll be organized and together in a spot. So that's what that 30-second, yep, was.
Good.
A lot more time into our little, that's okay. Cool.
So I think on November 2nd, we were supposed to have turned in a document that said what our 5-year spending goals were, and we didn't have a meeting, so I think I'll still send something up to Tracy, so do you guys have any thoughts on a 5-year plan, what we want to spend money on in the next 5 years? What our wish list would be? And I will give you mine.
Yes, please start.
My big thing is to do a walking trail around the fields. Just for COA and us and runners and people, and so that's one of many. I don't wanna co-op everything, so that's my first. Anyone else?
I think John wanted a summer camp.
Yeah, summer and or vacation programming for young parents. The whole premise behind the field house was to attract a summer program away from the school, although we did a proposal a few years back that would have the library and NES alternate sites so that people living in Byfield didn't have to always go there, and people in that part of town didn't always have to come here. And we'd have indoor space and activities. We did a pilot program run by 2 kids. It must have been almost 7 years ago or so. in
When you
conjunction-
say kids, what are we talking age-wise?
I go by height, no. Age-wise. It was like 1st through 3rd grade, something of that
Okay.
nature. More of a respite for parents,
Mm-hmm.
not a drop-off leave for the day type. Though the stuff that we're looking at for Mantor up at the field house was more of a summer, multi-day consecutive stuff. But first, the other one was, a respite for parents during summer and or school vacations.
Yeah.
Even if it's only for an hour to do an art class, limited number, someplace for kids to go. The summer one, we brought in a couple of theater groups to look at that space. Part of the problem was there wasn't any shade up there. The model was that they paid to run their camp versus us paying them to run the camp. 'Cause the theater groups, we talked to Stacy, and a couple other theater groups, that there's just no interest in trying to establish something in a new market. So it would be us hiring somebody to run something. So both a summer program, 6-week program, 1 week each, you can only have 1 week at various ages, and then a school type of respite type program during the school holidays and perhaps the summer if the other one didn't.
NES already does a summer camp. So I know
They do the
that-
summer camp,
I know
yeah.
that is something that they do. Yeah.
But utilizing the camp, the space up there during the summer, and a big name is programming.
So you, summer
Yep.
camp?
Yep.
I like the idea of, going back to Huntress's, I like those, like, outdoor shade areas, but the classroom kind of shade areas. I know you asked, so
No,
I like to spend money. So more, now this might be a little crazy, but more, a little bigger than just the small ones. But what he had is
Oh, yeah.
in one of these fields, back fields here.
Yep.
It would be an outdoor classroom, either here or here. So something that's large enough with a shade that
Yep.
would, away, kind of opposite from the field house, but kind of bringing that ties in with your walkway too.
yep.
So see these dots,
Yeah.
that's the walk that Dave's talking about.
When you say the field in the back, are you talking about the, what we call the tree?
No, I don't know. But the opposite side of
We're on,
the, see where it says outdoor
on the corner.
classrooms? There's two red dots.
Yeah. So the tree is right about there.
So either
Okay.
one, I don't have a preference, but something that, it says an outdoor classroom, so I'd like to see that. So it ties into the walkway.
And shade.
It's opposite from where
Yep.
the shade is currently and where the activity is. And it's bringing people kind of away from the parking lot and where
Yep.
everything is.
Yep.
So I'd like to see something, if you will, that fits with the community, but on the opposite
Yeah, it's a
side.
good idea.
And some of these things, again, if you look at our budget, and we are only spending half of the $50,000 we appropriated. Conservatively, there's $20,000 a year that we could say, oh, we don't need to go to,
We got it for here.
we got it from our annual budget, and that's why we should be looking at how much we're spending with annual reoccurring expenses, and determining what our discretionary funds are.
Yeah.
And what we can get with the discretionary funds versus going and utilizing our reserve, or going to the town and say, here's a large expenditure that we want to do. Going back to expenditure, I would love to see some movement on Kent Way.
Yep, I think it's a good idea.
I know, like in Newburyport, my understanding is that Newburyport Youth Soccer has priority or blank, I can't think of the right word, of the Cherry Hill fields off of Daniel Lucy Way. Are you people familiar with those?
Yep.
There's a whole set of smaller soccer fields. You know where the new fire station is in Newburyport?
I'm really, yeah.
Does anybody go past Lowe Street? Does anybody go? There's a small area, and when I talked to people in lacrosse years ago, is a lot of the fields, their lacrosse program has priority, or excuse me, there's a soccer program, actually gives permission to the lacrosse program to use some of their fields. So it's not, again, looking at how things are run in different towns, it's not as simple. But Kent Way, we could clear that up, get empty space out there. There's a couple of models, I know some people don't like the idea because it may impact the quality of life of the butters, but it is property that the town owns for specifically recreational purposes.
And it would also, the Kenway, which Mark said this nicely,
Thank you.
we could, if that is on the list, if they could at least clear it out, I think our thoughts have been over the last bunch of years with the Kent Way was, let's start something, maybe get DPW to clear it out, and then, start with a parking area. That we, at that point, we could get people to use that for parking for the ball field, so they don't take up the library parking. Because, when the games are going on, the library people, especially because they have night programs, stuff like that, becomes an issue. There's cars in the street, so that might be, and then we have the other spot, which, they just level and clear out, who knows? Throw a dog park, throw grass down, like Mark said, have a secondary soccer field, but I think that's a great idea to put in flat. Anyone else have any thoughts, ideas on, I like all these, they're great. I just have to come up with some kind of idea on budgets, and we'll put it forward to the town, and I don't know if we'll get any money for it, but any other thoughts?
It might be nice to have, we do a lot of this, we can do it, and that's a great thing, but many towns, they do have somebody part-time to run the schedule and make those decisions, make sure the money's deposited. I know in,
Or like hire a staff member.
So you're saying you wanna pay me? Okay, fine.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Yes. I had sound selfishly because it's sort of coming back this way is, a number of places, even like the select board, will have somebody sit and just do the minutes as opposed to be part of the conversation and write down what you're saying and what my thoughts are. Somebody to do that and again, that could be part of our, we could talk to the town manager, administrator about, can that come out of our current budget? One point we looked at hiring, asking to hire somebody, the manager, administrator looked within the town to see if somebody could pick up the extra hours. There wasn't enough interest. I mean, again, it's only maybe 10 hours a month, so it's not a lot.
How do people feel about, because my wife yelled at me for this one, she said, I don't know, so we don't have, how do people feel about maybe eventually appropriating money or for lifeguards at Plum Island? Now, it's not our jurisdiction, but it may be at one point.
I think we should have it. I know there's concerns within the town of having a consistent stream of funding for the lifeguards so that we can maintain the quality and expertise as required for Plum Island, as opposed to the whims of townspeople voting in this year and not next year, and maintain it that way. It's easier to maintain if we had a steady stream. I like the idea.
Yep.
Another idea is we looked at, again, currently it's not available in our budget, but the YMCA in Ipswich at one point for, I believe it was like $80 an hour, would allow our seniors, our adult members of the community, senior members of the community, use their facility excuse me, for a specific period of time, like on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 1 to 2. They can come in, use the facility. They have to get their own transportation. The COA at that point in time was like, yeah, we can transport 12 people. They can congregate here, or they can drive there themselves. But to find indoor entertainment, fitness for older people who have that time flexibility during the day where many of us are working or with kids can't. So we'd have to relook into the appropriation fund of it and then work with the Y.
And COA.
And we could do it, and then if the COA wants to tag on, great. But that would be a good partnership of we're utilizing the resources, because people don't need to be a part of COA to participate in it. Just say, we're from Newbury, here's my Newbury citizen, we're in, and we do it from a very discrete period of time, say from end of October to the beginning of April. So it's just not even a half a year.
Is that something we would want to consider also contacting the WCA?
Yeah, well, I looked at
To-
WC at that point in time.
Okay.
They weren't in a position to support that.
Okay.
But yeah, look around at I don't care if it's what used to be Latitudes, but hey, here's a place you can go to do X, Y, and Z during these colder months. The pool itself was a different fee, but we could look at, again, working with the COA and those who'd be able to take advantage of it, what do they want?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So from a 5-year plan, one of the things that I put together when I first started here was a list of like all the properties that the town of Newbury manages in some way or another.
Yeah.
And Mark helped with this as well. I'd like to have a single entity managing that and like it be us. So like I'd like to be able to have progress towards that and more property under us so that we can do those things like programs versus think and sponsor things at different places. You know, like the Little League is using the upper green and the library fields. These are things that, yeah, they can run it. They can partner with us to like be able to do these things, and we can advertise it on our site as a program. So like,
And they do use NES for the softball.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
football. So, you know, in terms, and I know there's a jurisdiction issue with NES, but in terms of town property, particularly during the summer, if the school's not in session, how does somebody use those fields? Because they can't get a hold of the principal, who is the one who makes the decision, and they want to have a charity softball game there.
you know, if
Who do
there's
they contact?
just generally, if there's a single place that the town of, the residents of Newbury and other folks can come to, instead of having to track down the right people to understand where to,
Where to go.
Yeah.
to rent it. That would be something that I would love from a long-term perspective. And I know that will affect the budget eventually.
Well,
And that's a good thing, because this is
Uh-huh.
what we need to have people see as a bigger picture. You know, to go along with that, it's kind of weird. Let's assume we put in 2 ball fields at Kent Way.
Yeah.
In theory, 2 of them we would get to schedule, the third one, the town select board would manage.
Yeah.
And the playground at the library is run by the DPW, but the playground at Central Street Fields is our responsibility, and the playground over at NES and it should be, it's a town property. Let's coordinate it so, let's come out of one budget, and, you know, as I said before, not necessarily, how can I put it? You know, we need parts for this, where are we going to 3 different vendors? We should have something that's really well coordinated, so, we need 2 slides, we can get them. We have that relationship. Maybe we put a playground on Plum Island, or at Otis Way.
I mean, I sent an email to the group being like, yeah, I've got a PTA dad, and the PTA is looking to put in accessibility
Yeah.
stuff, and they're wondering who we work with to do this. They know that we're not the people who can permission it, but like
We're a resource that they can tap.
should be,
Yeah.
and like we should be able to use the same resources that we're building tot lots to help build accessibility stuff at NES. It doesn't make sense that there's 4 different groups that are managing this.
I think that, I don't know, I don't know why we were Kent Way and Central Street, and I think probably because we just took over the, you know, from the other group, so I think that maybe that's the way they wanted to sort of consolidate at that point and not,
Well, things were a little siloed too, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
we
we're-
weren't-
We're in this area, this is this area, this is this area, this is this area. And then as things become more connected and evolved, and you're trying to manage multiple things, you're like, and sensibilities go, hey, things change, so who knows what it will look like in 5 years.
all right, well, I'll talk to Tracy about just that, about the town property thing, and see if we can,
I can imagine that if
what we
you
have to do.
talk to Principal Yando, and if you talk to the select board, and if you talk to DPW, they're probably like, the last thing that I want to do is manage these things.
Yeah, during the school year, between September to this period,
Yeah.
your programs have priority, boom. But
Mhm.
at this time to this time,
Yeah.
we have this, and what we can do is put it on our calendar to say this school is using this, the upper green is being used for this, and it's,
Mhm.
and people can get like they do over at Hamilton Law. It's like you can look at what field is being used by.
And if you
It's
look
like-
at their MyRecs are packed with programs and really well done. Like That, if we get that, then we might need someone down there.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what we're heading to.
Let's say when.
Yes.
I mean, that's what we're
When
heading to. I
that
think,
occurs,
I
when
think
that
that,
occurs.
that's the bottom line, is that eventually we're gonna need someone, because we can't do it. I mean, we've been through this before, and, you know, it's a headache. So if there was a person that was hired 20 hours a week or whatever we could afford, or 10 hours a week, that person, we would make suggestions and that person would I assume, do it? I mean,
Well, we give them parameters, we write a job description, they would be able to do, not to the great extent that is currently being done, but by our esteemed board members, but they would be able to do some of the finances, and we just oversee it.
Yep.
They would be able to make sure that the money comes in and the money's going out, that the.
You would also
somebody's-
be able to sit in on meetings that occur during town time while we're otherwise occupied, right?
Yeah.
They would be here in the building. You can get a little bit more done when I was in New York last week, I got a lot done. I can't do it as much when I'm working remotely, so
So, you know, the idea is,
there's a benefit.
you know,
I think we all agree.
all right, I'm gonna see if I can come up with money, and I'll talk to Tracy if they can still send it in to, you know, because I told them
And this
our
is-
meeting was.
a lot of this is the same things that different department, some of it is being more of a department as opposed to just a board. So we can transition from being a committee to a department.
Yep.
If we look like a department, we act it, we do everything a typical department does, review of fees, policies and all that. It makes it so much easier for them to say, oh, you're a board, you're a department. As opposed to, oh, you're gonna be a department, you have to do all this stuff. We've already done all the work.
Alrighty.
We didn't go over the DPW maintenance schedule. Did you ask them about cutting the grass before they put the tractors away, the sledding
No.
field? Okay. And we need to talk to them about coming up for next summer, about closing off one field. The other thing with that is,
I'm sorry, go ahead, go.
go back to maintaining the fields.
Yeah.
In years past, we would close down one field. We're on basically a 5-year plan where field one would be closed down. No activity would be allowed on it. They would seed it, extra seeding, extra care to it, fully rested. Then
For
we-
what, for a season, or?
Just for the summer. It's not the ideal time, but it's the only time we really have. The next year, we rest field two, there's no activity going on, or minimal activity.
Oh, okay, I mean, that's easy to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
The other thing with the maintenance schedule, I never, not that I needed to, saw the scope of services for the laying of the ball court. When I dropped some of my files and I was picking up, I saw from Chris Huntress that part of the bid was supposed to include geo textile for the field, or for the court. And what I've been saying all along was there's supposed to be we need to put some type of fabric down so when it rains, hydroplating doesn't occur to move the fabrics. From what I'm seeing and hearing, the geotech that was supposed to be part of the scope of services was never laid down. That they put the asphalt down and then they put the,
Huh, I did not know.
yeah. And then, yeah, there's, again, it's only because I dropped,
You dropped stuff and
I
piece
dropped
of
it
paper
and
came out.
I was like, oh.
The right
oh,
paper came out.
Yeah.
This is
But
what I
I've
was
been
looking
saying
for.
all along, when
It's
you
something
lay-
wasn't making sense. This is what I was looking for.
Yeah, like when
Hasn't
you lay
been-
stone or something, you just don't put stone on concrete.
Right, right.
You put it on something to help,
Yeah.
well,
Bind
stabilize
it,
it, but
yeah.
Yeah, I'll talk to him about it.
and that would, I think, save a lot of the,
Movement, shifting.
What's the cost on that?
that was only 15, less than 1,500
Okay.
back then.
Great, I'll
So
ask.
under 2,000, if we need to buy it ourselves, I suggest we do it.
Yep.
And they can lift up half the court, slide half, and then
or they
Yeah,
can
yeah.
figure out how to do it.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah,
Here goes, have at it.
I mean, that was under his purview, he was the manager of that project, so.
That's, yeah.
Yeah.
So, good.
Sorry, consolidation playing fields, field house, facilities and policies.
On the website, there are two documents. There are some conflicting or redundant comments in them. Earlier today, I sent out, I had a student combine the two to the best of her ability. And ask people to take a look at it, looking for redundancies, anything we want to add, anything we want to take out. And make this our working document. That would be one document, take the other two off, and this would be our guiding principles. Things we may add is you can't re-rent the fields to somebody else. We had it at one point, we took it out. Currently, right now, if somebody rents the field, they can then sublet it, which
I thought we said no on that, it never made
it
it
never made
into the document.
it into the document, yeah.
Yeah, because we definitely voted on that to not, we told them no, something.
Yeah, so we need to just go through with a fine tooth comb, mark it up, and then
How did you send it to us? I didn't see it.
Email.
An email.
Is it,
It came-
is it a PDF or is it a Word doc? Do you know?
Encrypted. Just like my last set of minutes, I were.
Missing.
Yeah,
Missing.
well, you needed the right,
Oh, you need the minutes.
right filter to be able to see through this.
Word doc,
Which one?
the Word doc.
Oh, okay, fine. I do have a question. I apologize if this is out of order, but on the website, I think you're
Yes.
listed as
He's still in high school.
student,
Yeah, you're still in high
and
school.
you're listed as
I'm a student?
Yeah, you're a high school
All
student.
right.
a high school student.
And our
So-
dates are wrong.
Yeah, that date's, I don't really care about it, but you're an adult, you're not a student, which is okay, which is okay.
I
Like,
prefer if they
living
didn't say
dream
high
and
school
stuff.
designate, 'cause
Yeah, there you go. I know.
I couldn't.
You can't. So, do you want to send that, who do we send it to?
who's our IT person?
Yeah, the new IT person is pretty good, you know, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Do you wanna?
I'll take care of it.
yeah, I'm sure.
And,
Courtney's
also,
gone.
minutes are not on
No, they're not,
our website. Why is that?
because I haven't done them.
Oh, well, you've done them.
I've done them and passed them, and my fault, but I've asked for help on how to load it up. And it becomes a dance for a week, and then it's like, yeah, screw it, I'm into something else right now.
Okay.
And,
Is it something that we can do?
oh,
Like,
we can do it, I can send somebody the stuff to upload it, I didn't, my expertise in technology is limited to what you know. In other words, you tell me what I have no idea.
Okay.
And I didn't wanna, it's like doing these agendas. If I don't do it right, it still shows up and it becomes public, and I don't wanna screw it up. So I can send them,
I will also talk to John on how to update the minutes.
Perfect.
yeah,
So that
Yeah, because if you're sending us
you
documents.
can send it, I can update.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I
it should
just-
be.
I don't
should be-
wanna, I make enough mistakes and I use a different word, and I don't wanna keep doing that.
Yeah, no, no, that's easy.
So there's some technology, if you're open to it, that, we're recorded anyways. You can record it and it makes minutes for you, if that's
No.
something that might be easier.
Go on.
For you and us, and it might be
It's not the writing them up necessarily, it's getting them online, so, but tell me more.
It does both. It wouldn't get them online, but it would write up the minutes.
Some kind of
basically.
AI, can you give me a name?
We use WebEx for our internal, but there's other programs. I don't know if
Teams,
you know.
Teams Pro has it.
Yeah, so
The kids today.
Kick me out of my job, baby, I love ya.
I'm just thinking that this might be a task that will help. And
Us,
just,
Yeah.
Well, going beyond me,
Cause there's a thing,
Just it's one of
I've done
those.
it once and I was like,
Oh, yeah,
just-
let me put it this way, if I ever have to take the minutes, I'm not taking the minutes, AI is gonna take the minutes and.
yeah,
I just say
I've
it's
gone
AI
through.
generated, if you want more accurate, go online. 'cause-
Actually, it's better than anything, it's just, at least I think so, but I might be wrong.
Yeah, I'll talk to John about this as well,
Yeah.
like, because that's the sort of technology that would be very valuable across every single one of these meetings from a
Yep.
town of Newbury perspective.
Yes,
Because, yeah, I mean, like, Zoom has it, Teams has it,
we use WebEx, so WebEx.
WebEx, yeah,
Huh.
LogMeIn has it, it
This-
will record your meeting,
Yeah,
it will
transcribe it.
use AI to understand it and transcribe it and document it, and then it could just straight up upload it.
And then we would have to read it and approve what they wrote.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because
Which we're
it's
doing right
AI,
now.
we're
Yeah.
doing it anyways.
Yeah.
So you're not fully trusting the technology, well, you're trusting the technology, but you're verifying it
Trust
from
me,
your
verify.
recollection and your
What we're doing
approval
right now.
process.
The transcript is pretty spot on. Now, the summary is an
Yeah,
addition,
yeah.
like, and it would be a paid thing. That would be like, okay, well, make me bullet points of what this hour and a half long meeting was really about, and it'll go through and do it.
Mark complaining. Mark complaining. Mark complaining.
So,
But it's
But I'll talk to
clearly
John about
bullet
that.
points, and it doesn't even say that, it's like, this issue was brought up, this issue was brought up, this issue was brought up, the takeaway is this, and this. Dave will do this, Mary will do this,
And that,
Daniel will do this, it's excellent.
how much is that? 'Cause it-
That I don't know, we get it from work,
But it's one of those, again, that should be coming out of our budget because it's part of maintaining.
yeah,
I would say that it comes out of the town of Newbury's budget, because that's the sort of thing, like, it's one license that we're gonna use. It is utilized by every group that is having a meeting.
and yeah, we're talking about a lot of
That's
groups.
it,
Yeah.
and
That'd be
And
wonderful.
every- group that
it's all can be
uses-
automatically hosted online.
And then it could be, once we approve it, that would be able to have it sent to whomever, tech person or whomever, to upload it for minutes.
It does it automatically,
Yeah,
in a lot of cases.
and then it's just done, and then we don't have to worry about it, and then you
Where's
don't have to worry
Ben?
about it.
Mary, how come you haven't brought this up?
Well, you seem very attached to the minutes, and I was waiting for the right time to.
Whenever the secretary thinks that I'm gonna be out for the month and someone's gonna write stuff down, I'm like, oh, cause I've done it, like I sit there and have to look at the
Yeah.
video and write down, he did this, and after a while, I'm like, hey, look at the shiny things behind me. Yeah.
So it just makes better sense, I think.
I'll talk
Awesome.
to John about getting our site updated so that I'm no longer in high school.
Our dates are correct, Courtney, well,
Well, you're Courtney
she's
also.
here in spirit, she
Yeah.
shouldn't be listed as such.
Yeah, about, how to upload minutes,
Yeah. You're good.
specifically. And talk to him also about like future technology of using AI on minutes and
Awesome.
Yeah,
so.
and past approved minutes you're gonna send over. So that,
Yes,
that document, so that they can get it
Yeah.
uploaded.
I mean, because all the past minutes have been approved,
Yeah,
so we could just go back.
Let's start with the most current one, let's start with this one.
Yeah.
So we,
Yeah,
know
you
that
figure
we
out
have
how
a
to do it,
gap.
we'll just work backwards,
And then
and
we'll
make
work
sure everything's all
backwards,
set.
yeah.
because If not, we're gonna, yeah.
Yeah,
Sounds
because if
great.
you wait to do it sequentially, you'll never get them back. So let's get this one uploaded so that it's
but you, yeah,
memorialized.
just figure out a way, because they,
And it goes by date, it goes by year.
it sets it up all,
Yeah, it should.
it should.
It
It should.
Trust but verify. I don't say
Okay.
anything until I see it and
Yeah.
double check it. And my expectation is what is there. So it should, but like I said, trust but verify.
All right. Well, that's wonderful. So we got that done. Is everyone good with establishing a date for our next meeting?
I like Wednesdays if space is available, but I do ask whatever we choose, if we can't do it for, through March, April, so we all can plan our time around. I know I screwed up, I apologize.
Well, last meeting we did all say Mondays seem to be the best.
Yeah, I just want to, okay,
So-
going forward,
I
We
think
do
Mondays
have,
seem to work best for
Okay.
everyone. It works good for you, right? You care, but you don't care.
As long as it's not during rehearsal season and not interfering with
Yeah,
any
yeah.
rehearsal assignment,
and
it's fine.
we understand your obligations and commitments to your school endeavors.
Yeah.
When are you going away the 2nd?
Yes,
So should we do December 9th?
still going.
Should we do,
But you guys are, yeah.
oh, as long as John's around, right, then we'll be fine.
And I'm gonna head out as well. Are you heading, oh, you're going south, I'm going east.
Yep.
What date are you going?
You'll be in the ocean.
You're going all the way east?
Yeah, back to the island on the other side.
Across the pond?
Yeah.
When are you going?
Haven't made the ticket yet, but like the first week, the 9th or 10th or so.
That's the second week.
Okay.
Second week, on
So-
the first week.
He's-
There, and going forward, we also don't need to be, ideally, it's nice to.
Do we want to skip December?
We could and just come back beginning, now with, the application's due the 15th, it would be ideal to move shortly thereafter, and then again in beginning of February, so that we can approve all those, get that stuff out. We have a couple weeks to
What
do it.
application?
What's that?
What application?
Spring.
Spring stuff for soccer, lacrosse,
Okay.
So we could do the 6th of January?
but the applications are due on the 15th.
What does that mean?
It's tight.
So you want to do it after the 15th?
After the 15th, so that we know that we followed our protocols. 15th, here's your application, so you don't have it in?
The 20th is Martin Luther King Day.
So we can do
No, the
Wednesday, the
application-
22nd.
Yeah, the applications are due January 15th, right?
Yeah.
Permits are issued by January 1st,
March 1st.
February 1st,
March 1st.
March 1st.
March 1st.
So we could do the 22nd of January. How does that work for people?
Yeah, it's a Wednesday, that's fine.
Yeah, that's
And the only what would you say it was? The 122?
Yep, January
25?
January 22nd, January 22nd, 2025 is a Wednesday.
6:30?
Yep,
6:30?
And that's a Wednesday.
That's a Wednesday.
that's a Wednesday.
All right, let's hold on for a second.
what time?
6:30.
6:30.
Sweet.
January 22nd, 25, let me just,
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
So we told John.
I'm surprised he
And
didn't get back
Sydney.
to me. I haven't seen John, so maybe he's away. Was it turkey or something he was supposed to do?
I don't know.
I hope he's okay. I haven't seen him outside. Usually I see him, cutting the grass or
Like,
the animals.
the country turkey?
I don't know. He said something weird, like he was going to some weird country.
Oh.
I don't know where.
No, I have friends in Turkey.
Turkey's beautiful.
I've never been.
It's
Really?
filled with cats. It's beautiful.
Yes.
Mhm.
A friend of mine has a cat named,
Istanbul?
no, it's, I forget how you say it in Turkish, but it means foam or bubbles. And she's an all-white cat. She's a Scottish fold and she has these big blue eyes.
It's a wonderful, like, it's that the areas I went to, which was Istanbul and Budapest, it is all cats. Like, they sit next to you at restaurants.
Huh.
They
what'd you eat there?
Cat.
all sorts of delicious food.
Can I just, Can we Can we carry-
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's all outside.
so are you good for that?
January
22nd, 2025 at 6:30 PM.
It's a Wednesday. Right now, the calendar looks good. If
All right,
I
I'm
get my-
gonna push add.
Yep.
All right, add.
I will go on tomorrow.
We can reserve it now, right?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Cool.
Okay, so, it's done. We picked a date. I say we close the meeting at 8:07 PM, which isn't bad.
No, it's great.
Yeah.
Any
I
second?
second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, done.